And it was in that instant the heavens went silent. No angel dared to sing, no harp dared to sound. Even the waters of Eden stopped their flow. It felt as though eternity itself had paused to listen to the absence of God. And in that sacred void, one heart began to break, the heart of Ariel, the angel born of music. From the beginning of all things, he had been the keeper of the melodies of the throne. Every note from his voice sustained the harmony between the stars. When the universe danced, he conducted its rhythm. And for ages, beyond memory, he believed sound was the language of God. But then came silence. No one knew why. One day, the voice simply ceased. The throne still shone with light, yet without sound, without vibration, without word. The angels folded their wings in reverence. The seraphim extinguished the flames of adoration. Silence became the new law, and no one dared to break it. No one, except Ariel. He felt it first, the discomfort, the emptiness. Heaven, once alive with symphony, now felt dead. It was like breathing in a world without air, and the more he tried to accept it, the louder he heard the sound that no longer existed. A memory, an echo, something whispering within, "Speak to me again." At first, he feared madness or temptation, but the longing for the divine voice burned within him like fire. He remembered how God once spoke in tones that no human tongue could contain, words that birthed galaxies and healed light itself. Now that voice was gone, and Ariel refused to believe that the Creator had chosen silence. For 7,000 celestial dawns, he wandered the sea of glass, searching for understanding. He asked himself, can love remain silent forever? But no answer came. Only the heavy void, infinite and endless. Then something happened. As he flew across the edge of the firmament, where light meets shadow, he heard it. A sound, faint, distant, almost impossible. A note adrift in the wind. Ariel landed upon a golden plain he had never seen. There, in the center of nothing, danced a small blue flame, as if silence itself had a wound, and from that wound, music bled. He approached, trembling, and he listened. It was a song, sad but alive, a lament made of memory, as though the heart of God was trying to remember how to speak. Ariel knelt before the flame and wept, because in that instant he understood the silence of God was not absence, it was pain. And so he made a decision that would change the destiny of heaven. With burning hands and unwavering faith, he took the little melody and hid it beneath his wings. He knew it was forbidden. He knew the sound had been sealed by the Creator himself, but he believed love meant remembering. And if heaven had forgotten the sound of its maker, he would remember, even if it cost him everything. When he returned to the gates of heaven, something stirred. The sound beneath his wings began to tremble, soft at first, like wind brushing a distant harp. Then stronger, the air filled with music, the pillars of light shook, the gates of paradise burst open in golden lightning, and silence broke. Angels from every order lifted their eyes in awe. Some cried, believing they were hearing God again. Others screamed in terror, convinced it was heresy. The sound spread like a storm, and in the chaos, Rehael, the archangel of the divine God, descended in white fire. "Who dares to sing without the command of the throne?" he thundered. Ariel said nothing. He only opened his wings. The blue flame floated between his hands, pure and alive. Rehael's eyes blazed. "Do you understand what you've done?" he asked. Ariel's voice trembled. If God is silent, perhaps he needs someone to remind him of his own voice. At that moment, the heavens split. Thunder crossed eternity, and a voice, ancient, vast, indescribable, filled the infinite. Ariel. The name shook creation. Every angel bowed. The ground dissolved into light. Ariel fell to his knees, trembling. The voice continued, "You dared to heal what was never wounded. You gave sound to what I made sacred in silence." But Ariel did not retreat. His voice was soft. "Lord, if your silence is holy, then let me at least hear it." And for a moment that may have lasted forever, heaven stood still. Time itself froze. Then light descended like a storm. It surrounded Ariel. He was not destroyed, but his voice was taken. The song of heaven ceased again. The angels looked upon him, mute, kneeling, the flame extinguished in his palms. Ariel tried to speak, but no sound came. Only tears. The price for trying to heal God's silence was to become part of it, yet no one noticed the final spark. As divine light engulfed him, a single ember fell to earth. And from that day on, whenever humanity prayed through pain, a faint sound rose toward the sky, the distant echo of the angel who once tried to heal the silence of God. For countless ages, the name Ariel was erased from heaven. No angel spoke it, not in worship nor in memory. Only the winds whispered it, between the borders of time and eternity. He became the voiceless one, the angel who tried to give voice to what God had kept sacred. But what no one knew was that the Creator had not condemned him, only placed him between worlds, between light and shadow, between sound and silence. There, Ariel awoke. His wings were no longer gold and crystal, but shades of silver and gray. He spoke, yet could not hear his own voice. Still, the rhythm of his heart carried fragments of the forbidden song. Each beat echoed the melody that once healed the heavens. And in that borderland, something new began to take root. Because even in God's silence, love still breathes. As Ariel walked through that suspended valley, he saw movement, small sparks floating like scattered stars. He moved closer and realized they were human souls, not yet born, prayers from a future world, traveling through time like echoes of suffering, seeking an ear that would listen. And the one who found them was the angel who had lost his voice. He knelt among the lights and wept, not tears of regret but of compassion. Each glow carried a plea, a sorrow, a hope. And even without sound, Ariel felt the weight of every cry. Then he understood. Perhaps the silence of God was not punishment, but space, the place where the voices of creation become eternal. A light tore the horizon, a blade of fire cutting through eternity. Out of it came Sariel, the angel of divine judgment. His wings were blades, his voice a storm. "Ariel," he said, "the Almighty decreed your name forgotten. Yet the prayers of mortals still reach you. Explain yourself." The voiceless angel lifted his eyes. He spoke without words, with gestures and light. Sariel watched and somehow understood. Ariel did not seek glory, he sought service. Even without voice, he heard the cries of men. "Why?" asked Sariel. "God has not commanded you." Ariel looked toward infinity, his gaze filled with peace. His answer was silent but clear, because even the silence of God is a kind of listening. Sariel stepped back, shaken. The thought was dangerous. Yet for the first time, the executor of justice found no words. Then the sky trembled again. A light descended, calm yet terrible. Michael, the archangel of truth, defender of the throne. He stood before Ariel, radiant, unyielding. "You serve without command?" he asked. Ariel raised his hands, revealing the sparks of human prayers floating around him. Michael looked, and time itself seemed to hold its breath. Then the archangel bowed his head. A single tear of light fell from his eyes and touched Ariel's palms. "If the Almighty left you between sound and silence," said Michael, "perhaps it was because he knew one day the world would need someone who listens without speaking." And in that instant, the impossible happened. Ariel's voice returned, but not within him. It resonated inside the prayers of humankind. Every cry, every plea, every unspoken word became part of a new melody. He had become the invisible bridge between God's silence and humanity's sound. The flame once forbidden became sacred. The angel who defied heaven became its listener. And since then, it's said that every whisper, every tear, every voiceless prayer passes through Ariel, and he turns them into music that God hears not as sound, but as love. If you're hearing this story now and feel something stir within your heart, maybe it's because Ariel is near, collecting the words you can't say. If you've ever prayed and thought no one was listening, remember this: heaven is never silent. It listens through those who once learned how to hear. Before we go on, I invite you to do something different. Write in the comments what silence has kept inside you. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. And if this story moved you, stay with us. Subscribe, not to a channel, but to a sanctuary. Here, every voice matters. Here, every silence has meaning. Because even when heaven seems quiet, there is always one angel who listens to what you cannot say. From that day on, Ariel's name began to echo again. Not in temples, not in songs, but wherever there was pain. In hospitals where mothers prayed, in fields where men worked in silence, in nights where tears fell unseen. They say when a person suffers quietly, the air changes color. A soft wind rises from the earth and crosses the unseen border. There, between sound and nothingness, Ariel gathers that breath and carries it to the heart of God. The Creator answers, not with words, but with presence. What mortals call coincidence, angels call reply. One day, Michael returned to the suspended valley. He found Ariel sitting beside a river of light, dividing the realms. The voiceless angel watched the reflections of souls drifting by. The silence. "Does it still hurt you?" Michael asked. Ariel smiled without sound. He pointed to the river. In its reflection, Michael saw millions of human voices, prayers, pain, hope, confession. Then he whispered, what looked like punishment was purpose. Michael knelt before him. "Forgive us for not understanding sooner." Ariel touched his brother's shoulder. In that touch was peace. From that day, heaven understood something new. The silence of God is not absence, it is listening. Now, every song of angels carries pauses, sacred spaces of quiet, honoring the God who hears before he speaks. Humans began to feel it too. Peace in unanswered prayers, comfort without reason. That was Ariel, the angel who listens, turning human silence into divine melody. Whenever a person prays in despair, he kneels beside them, invisible but real. A breath that steadies the heart. If you've ever cried in the dark and felt calm return, that was him. If fear gripped you and peace came suddenly, that was him. Ariel, the angel who once tried to heal God's silence, now transforms it into music. And as long as there is sorrow on earth, he will keep listening, because divine silence was never emptiness. It was love waiting for someone to hear it. So if this story found you today, it's no accident. Heaven is reminding you, God hasn't stopped speaking. He's listening deeper than ever. Before you go, subscribe to this channel. Here, we tell stories that make the unseen speak again. But beyond that, it's a place where we listen to one another. Tell us in the comments, when did God's silence teach you something? Share your story with our community. Together, we turn silence into prayer and pain into faith. And when night comes and the world grows quiet, remember, there is an angel listening to what even you can't express. And in that moment, silence will no longer be emptiness. It will be presence.